composed of earth, water, air, and fire, and all these things, and the constellation, and this, and the tide, and everything. That's not the nafs. That is our physical body. We're not entering into that. Physical body, and it's pulling into the dunya. Dunya is pulling our physical body. Everything that is in the physical world, everything that is in the universes can be found in us, in our physical body. That's why with the physicality too, man, it is a marvelous creation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had not created anything like this ever before also, and ever again. Even physically. But in terms of the strength of the man physically, it is the weakest creature. Even the ant can carry at least 60 times his body weight. Ant, small ant. Can a man, so many people, especially all these fat people in countries where they're eating too much, they cannot even carry their own body weight. So, let's leave that part there. Allah is saying that we must know our nafs. Now that nafs is not composed of this, what you just said, all these 4 basic elements and all of the other elements that is found here on earth and in the planets and the universes and the cosmos. That's not. Our nafs is a completely different creature. Our nafs is not physical. Our nafs uses this physical body. Our nafs uses this dunya. Our nafs uses the desires. And our nafs uses and takes support from shaitan. So in that way, yes, our nafs is mixed up with this, but our nafs is not composed of this. Our nafs, it is another spiritual being. We're saying spiritual, not that it has a spirit, but it is not a physical being. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put inside of us the spirit and the ego. Into this physical body, the spirit and the ego. It is not like how the Christians are saying inside of us is a good angel and a bad angel, and we're right in the middle. Okay, it is not. Don't listen to that. They poison us ever since we're young when we watch those cartoons. It's appearing here, great devil appearing here, white, then they're always fighting with each other. No, it is not. Inside of us too, our spirit and our nafs. Now, in this physical world, the nafs has more power. Because we're living in this physical world. But in reality, our spirit has more power than the nafs, this physical world, and everything physical that Allah has created. Not only everything that is physical, but everything spiritual that Allah has created. Our spirit is more powerful than that. Yes. Our spirit is more powerful than the angels. Which spirit? The spirit that Allah has put in us. But now, that spirit, because the spirit now, when Adam alayhi salam was sent into this world, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent 3 things with Jibreel alayhi salam. To say whichever one that Adam alayhi salam chooses, let him to take it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent what? The intelligence, faith, and modesty. Haya. So Adam alayhi salam, what did he choose? Intelligence. He chose intelligence. So Jibreel alayhi salam says to Haya and to faith, go back now. And they say, we cannot go back. They say, you're disobeying Allah's orders. He says, no, Allah gave us an order. Wherever intelligence is, we have to follow. Wherever there is intelligence, there must be faith. Wherever there is intelligence, there must be modesty. Now think what kind of intelligence. Think what kind of faith that is. Think what kind of modesty. Modesty means what? Knowing our station. Knowing our station. So if we are in front of something that is higher than us, we know how to conduct ourselves according to the protocol. And because we know how to conduct ourselves in our station, more honor and more blessings comes to us. So, the spirit now, if the spirit is overpowered by the ego, and the spirit is covering the ego is covering the spirit, if the spirit lets the ego to overtake it, and the ego becomes more powerful, then that's the time where we are going to be a slave to the physical self. We are going to be a slave to the five senses. We're going to be like animals or worse than the animals. But if we let our spirit now to overtake the ego, we are not going to be a slave to the physical senses. Instead of the spirit inside the physical body is going to be inside of the spirit. We'll have a new body. That time, yes, Tayi Zaman, Tayi Mekan. You are going to be able to penetrate time inside of time and travel through space inside of space. Because now you're no longer a slave to the five senses. Because this world, this universe, what Allah has created is not limited to these five senses too. Please. This is Asfal as-Safilin. This is the lowest of the low. These five senses, these seven colors, these elements, these four elements, this is only in this world. Allah has created billions of worlds. Continuously He's being created. And it is for us. He didn't create that for Himself. He's not in need of anything. But the man who's able to take his ego and to step on it and to use it as a vehicle. The spirit is like a sports car. If you don't know how to drive it, that sports car is going to crash. It's going to destroy you and destroy others. But if you know how to drive it, then you can go top speed anywhere that you want. Our spirit is like a burak. Our ego is like the burak. Our nafs, if you know how to ride it, it's going to give you a boost. Yes. So, now that time, if the spirit is able to ride on that nafs, then like what the awliya Allah, like what our Shaykh has shown us so many times, miracles become common. In fact, if you don't perform miracles that time, then something is wrong with you. But we don't get too excited when we see some extraordinary events too, because it comes with the territory. So yes, to know your nafs, it is not these four elements. It is this being that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put inside of us. And with the guidance of a Shaykh, He's going to reveal that part of you. See, people are not even understanding this or believing in this. But our nafs, it is worse than shaitan. Our nafs is worse than Abu Jahil, is worse than Namrud, is worse than Firaun. Our nafs. So many people cannot even think of it like that. They say, I'm okay. But if we believe in that and work towards it, to control it, to make the nafs, like the Quran is saying, the nafsu amara to a nafsu mutma'in, then to transform that nafs more and more, yes, then that time, very easily, will become a servant to Allah. Very easily, we may know ourselves. Very easily, we may know Allah. And very easily, we may worship Him. Inshallah, with our Shaykh's blessings, one day we'll reach to that. We are not claiming anything. We are not claiming we have reached anywhere. But we are saying that with our Shaykh's guidance, at least he's stopping us from so many wrong things, and is giving us a choice of what is hell inside ourselves and outside, and what is paradise inside and outside.